Guys, I want to dive right in because today's going to be a big one. I want to make sure that everyone's taking notes as well because I'm going to be getting through a lot today and I really want you to implement everything I teach you over the next couple of weeks. This is literally every single thing you need to know to scale to 30k a month. The last 12 months, the business has done $250,000 in cash collected, and every single input I did to get that result is intentional. And I want to walk you through and break down my exact input so you can just replicate, copy, and do the same. So let's get into it. We're just going to go through one or two wins first. Saskia, if you want to start.
I actually feel very clear on where I'm going, what I'm doing, and thanks to your help, Emma, I see a bit of a roadmap to how I'm going to get there.
Love that. Well done. And Niall?
One video sort of took off there, so plenty of leads from that.
Unreal. Great flow. We love to see it. Shifra?
I had 2 calls on Friday and they both signed up, and then I had 3 calls last night and I got 3 yeses.
Amazing. We love to see it. Great work. Great work. And Shifra's actually coming out to me in Dubai on Sunday, which is so exciting. Huge win. Coming out for 5 days, so that's going to be so much fun. Can't wait.
That'll be mad. I'm actually so excited.
I'm buzzing. First of all, we're going to go into just a little bit around strategy, got to do with what we're posting and kind of the intention behind what we're posting, how it's going to contribute to us bringing more leads in, and how it's going to contribute to us building authority, essentially. So everyone online now, you need to give people a reason to actually listen to you. So gone are the days where you're just posting tips and tricks and like all of this stuff to help people, because there's so much people doing that now, and people can look at Google, people can look at ChatGPT, people have so many sources of information. So you need to give people a reason why they should actually listen to you instead of all the other places that they can access this information. So it's not just about providing information, it's about your identity, it's about showing proof, it's about your lived experience, it's about the results you've gotten for yourself and other people, your personal standards, your lifestyle, and your perspective. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's literally 7 bullet points in terms of ways that you can give people a reason to listen to you. By showing your identity and who you are, by showing them proof through your own lived experience or through your client results, your own standards, your lifestyle, and your perspective on things. So a couple of little bullet points we're going to make our way through. What are 3 things that you have that your ideal client wants? So if you're in fitness, it might be a good physique, it might be balance, it might be confidence, it might be freedom, it might be purpose, it might be more of a positive mindset. I want you to all script down 3 things that you guys embody right now that is something that your ideal client who wants to work with you wants, essentially. As user script, and I'll just give you some examples of mine. So we'll say one thing I have that all my dream clients would want is the freedom to travel wherever I want and live wherever I want in the world. So I can lean into speaking about that in my content. Also, another thing is the freedom to give back to my friends, to give back to my family, to fly my family places, to treat my friends to things. That's something I have that a lot of people want as well. So I can lean into talking about that in my content. And the last thing is probably just like working with my dream clients and running my dream business, a sense of purpose and fulfillment that comes with that as well. So those are kind of 3 ways that I can lean into talking about these things in my content to showcase the fact that I'm embodying the life and the lifestyle of my ideal client. So we'll just do a little share. No worries if you haven't got through all 3 yet, but I can give you some ideas as I get to you as well. Saskia, do you want to share yours first?
So for me, I put a proven process to get results, an abundance mindset, thinking, and knowing that you can have it all and working towards that. And similar to what you said in terms of having the freedom to travel and work from anywhere.
Amazing. Love that. And Niall?
I suppose what my client wants, I suppose, is exam results, accountability, college life, and I suppose from my point of view is just freedom to not have to be a teacher, to teach outside of school.
Yeah, 100%. And even through things that how you can showcase maybe that you, like, even it's just like showing the life you have now and the ability you had to go and move countries even a little bit, because like I think you can show more about your life in terms of how getting good grades in your Leaving Cert like kind of added to you being able to actually go and live this life where you're able to go to move to a new country, to get a job in a new country, all these things that people would aspire to have, especially that they're still in school. Like the thought of probably moving to Sydney, moving abroad and stuff are things that excites them. But probably the way to do that is obviously getting good grades to get a good job in terms of who you're targeting. So even showcasing that and like relating that back to the fact that you got good grades, like because I done a good Leaving Cert, I was able to get this job in Sydney and I was able to travel and I was able to do all these things that they aspire to get to in the next year.
Deadly. Perfect. Thank you.
And Shifra?
I suppose it would be confidence in the gym.
100%.
Physique to some extent for some people maybe, and then balance.
Amazing.
But again,
amazing.
like the rest of them, not feeling 100% embodied this week.
That's all good, and it happens from week to week as well. But again, even through it, it's going to be the third point I'm actually going to make is vulnerability low and how you react, which we'll talk through in a second. But even aside from that, I want you guys, in terms of the bullet points you thought of, to try think outside the box with stories as well, because that's what's going to put us in the top 1%. So a lot of people can say like, here's how I achieve balance, here's how I achieve confidence, but nobody can copy a specific story that you have from when you were younger, when you were like maybe 3-4 years ago. So for an example, maybe like I used to always wear a jacket in public because I didn't feel confident in my body. That's a story that you have that no one else can copy. Or another example is like I used to do this thing, let's say like I used to have to go for a walk every single Sunday evening because I couldn't sit with myself with the anxiety of going to work on Monday. I'm just throwing out, none of these might apply to you, but like random story and examples of something that no one can copy. So instead of just saying like, here's how I achieve balance, here's how I achieve confidence, make it into a story from your past and so in terms of something that you used to do. So say, for example, even I'm just going to pick Niall out from this as well. Like yours could be like in 2015, 2016, I sat my leaving cert, and here are 6 things that and I'm so glad I put my head down for it, because here are 6 things that allowed me to achieve, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dream results that your ideal client wants, essentially something along the lines of that. But it's a story got to do it like you, and then even like say traveling to Sydney, they're all applicable to you, but also things that your ideal client aspires to have as well. Amazing. Something new this week, and I'd love you guys to apply this, is live value. So either a client interview or a live session. So something, again, like a lot of you probably, I know we talked about this before in a previous call before Christmas. I asked all of you guys what made you sign up, and like majority, I think 80% of you had said because of the testimonials and client interviews I had on my page as well. So how can you do that for yourself? How can you get client interviews, client testimonials, people actually just speaking about your character? Like it doesn't even have to be this huge transformation or result, but even just someone coming on and saying like, we'll say, Julia helped me so much and cares so much, and we had a great session together, and it really, really impacted me for the rest of the week. Something along the lines of that. It doesn't have to be like an A to B almost, but just any kind of testimony of your character, of you as a coach, of how you work, whatever it may be, is so helpful in terms of building trust with your audience. Because right now in the coaching space, trust is going to be the core thing that makes people choose whether they want to invest in you or not as the next couple of months and a couple of years go on, because it's one thing that's very much lacking in the industry at the minute. And a lot of people who talk the talk, but when it comes to their actual coaching, they don't really care, and they just kind of faff everyone off after they come in. So by you being able to show social proof and show testimonials and show results, that's going to be a great way to build that trust, and a great way just to stack evidence for the fact that you are a good coach and you do what you say you do, essentially. And if you're someone who hasn't got that many testimonials yet, either go and do a session or 2 for free, like just a one-off 1-hour session, and in exchange for feedback after it, where they'll like take a video with you and they'll give you feedback. Absolute bonus points if it's in person. If you can find someone in person to give a session with, and after that session you can record a little piece of content with them talking about their experience from the session, like that is worth so much more than what they could have paid you for that session. Like that is worth so much to you in social proof and building trust with your audience. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, which is so underrated, so like I'm constantly looking at every single industry that's out there in terms of all the different niches of coaches, looking for trends and looking what's working. And this is something I'm doing that's at the very, very, very beginning of about to explode. You'll find lots more people going and leaning into doing this over the next couple of months and years as well, is live sessions. So the YouTube videos I did where I'm doing a live coaching session with Sophie and a live coaching session with Kate, they have performed so well for me in terms of people asking for once-off consultation calls off the back of those, and people actually joining my program after those as well. So no matter what niche you're in, you can do this. For an example, Niall, you can literally record one of your group calls on 1 week, and you can put that on YouTube, or you can put that somewhere where you can send it out to people so they can get a snippet of like what it's like to be in your community, to be coached by you. Say, for an example, like Lisa, you could do an energetic session with someone that doesn't mind you recording that session and be able to showcase again what it's actually like to get an energetic session. So say, for an example, it could be an exchange. I know, like, again, Aoife is one of my clients who did this a lot as well in Sydney, and another one of my clients, Charlotte, as well. They will ask someone, can I do a session with you in return for it being recorded, if you're comfortable with that, if that's okay with you? And then they'll record the session and they'll put that somewhere where they can use it as like a free resource as well, in terms of showcasing to people what it's actually like to get a session. Because especially with you guys who are in the nervous system energetic space, there's a lot of like, what's the word, like people just a little bit weary about it, or they don't really know what they're getting themselves into. Maybe they're like they're not too sure, they've heard of it before but they're not too too sure what it actually looks like, what a session's like, and they're quite apprehensive and they're quite scared because they just don't actually know what it's like to get a session with you. So by having something like this where people can actually see a session, it just takes the fear away and it removes the unknown. So they're much more comfortable moving forward with actually doing a once-off session or joining your program as well. They can see like how it works and how you operate. And again, Saskia, you can do similar to me as well, like a live coaching session with people, which again showcases your coaching style, showcases your knowledge, showcases your value. Shifa, it even could be like bringing one of your clients to do an in-person session, or something I'm doing with Sophie, I'm letting her do this with me as well, is we're doing like a live breakdown of like she's giving me nutrition and a gym plan based on my goals. So we're literally going to sit down and I'm going to say, Sophie, my goal is to grow my arms and to get more fit for high rocks. And she's going to again live give me a workout plan and a nutrition plan for the next 3 months to be able to go and achieve those goals. So if you even in person or even online are able to record like a session like that where you're giving someone a plan and you're giving someone their nutrition and stuff like that, it showcases your coaching style and it showcases that again you're really, really good at what you do and you have the education and knowledge to help someone with specific goals. And again, I see Mary and Aoife are after joining as well. We're just talking about doing like a live session as a free resource or a live session as an asset that you can showcase, again, a little bit about your coaching style. So same with Mary, if you can take a client and you can do a free consultation in return for them being okay and comfortable with you sharing that as like a video in terms of recording it. I know your niche is a little bit like obviously trauma and there might be a lot of people who aren't comfortable with you recording that, which is completely fine, but you'll probably find one person will be very, very happy if they're getting a free session to actually let you do that as well. So you can have that as a story post to say, I'm giving away one free consultation session to help you with XYZ in return for it being recorded. So you can see again who's comfortable with that. And similar with Aoife as well, it can be any form of session as well that you can put up with someone as well to showcase your coaching style and showcase that you know your shit. So again, I see this like people are going really, really well with doing this style, and it's not very common at the minute. Like I only see the few people doing it, but anyone that's doing it, it's working so well for them. So it's very much at the very beginning of it taking off. So if we can get in on that now and optimize, I guarantee you in the next like 6 to 12 months, so much more people are going to be doing this style of showing value and showing their knowledge, because it just ticks so many boxes. Like, what is someone's objection when they are going to sign up with a coach? It's like, what are they going to be like? Will we work well together? What's their coaching style like? What is it that they actually do? What is it they actually share with me? How does the coaching actually work? It answers all of these questions because they're actually getting to see a live example of how you work, especially for the girls in the nervous system space as well with Kundalini and energy. There's so much objections with people around what actually is it? Is it really woo-woo? Like, am I going to be moving like mad? Am I going to feel safety is a big thing. I know with your guys' space as well. Like, am I going to feel safe? What are they going to be like in terms of holding space? There's just so much questions that doing something like this answers. And again, it's an asset that's always there. Once you do it once, it's just there for people to consume. And it even could be like a pre-call thing that you send over to be like, just have a little look. This is what a session looks like as well. It can be something that you can always share with people who you're talking to in the DMs, leads that are coming in, whatever it may be as well. So it's something that you do once and it'll stand to you for so long as well. Like, I send loads of people my session with Sophie where I'm breaking down how to scale to 15k a month, because there's so much they can learn from it. And the mindset is when they see that video, they're going to be like, can you just do that for my business too? Which works so much for once-off consultations I get 500, 600 euro for, or else people coming into the program as well. So works so well because it ticks so many boxes. And the third thing I want everyone to know is vulnerability, because again, coming back to the trust piece, like, everyone knows that no one's life's perfect and everyone knows that people are going to struggle. Like all you guys said, you're not always going to be 100% embodied in what you do. Never. Like, no matter how much you grow and how good you get, like, life is always going to show you curveballs and life's always going to give you, again, things where you might not be able to stay 100% on track. So I always talk about this. Loads of people ask, what's the difference between sharing too much and sharing a nice amount to be relatable and authentic, but not going over the top? And it simply is just down to, if you're coming on and you're just sharing a problem, but you're not giving a solution, as a coach and as someone who's trying to claim authority in a space, that is not what you want to do. Because if you don't even know how to solve your own problems, how are you going to help other people solve their problems? But if you're able to come on and be vulnerable and you're able to say, oh, I had a bad week this week, but you're kind of showing your reaction to that and you're showing how you were getting yourself out of that, then that's also credibility plus vulnerability. vulnerability. And that is like the sweet point in terms of sharing and being authentic. So for example, a couple of you guys said it wasn't 100% embodied this week. That's fine. But like, I know I'm your coach, so I'm not going to let anyone sit in that. But like, what are we doing to come out of that? How are you helping yourself? Or how am I giving you tools to get out of that? So you're not going to sit in that for the next month. Like that is kind of the sweet point in terms of how to be vulnerable online, but also show your credibility, show your authority, and show your knowledge. So even Shifa, I think you mentioned like, again, going to the gym and balance and stuff like that. And maybe like last week wasn't the best week, but it's like, you can even say like last week, I had a bad week at sticking to the plan, but here's what I'm doing this week to make sure I smash my fitness goals, something along the lines of that. And you're kind of showing tangible 3 things that you're doing to get on track and not let it spiral into a month off no consistency, if that makes sense. And I'm sure all you guys, in terms of what you said, can do the same in terms of sharing something vulnerable, but then also sharing how you're getting yourself out of that, essentially. So I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to have a little think on that point and see what we come up with. And again, if I'll share some ideas with you as we go around as well to help you out, but just have a little think on that and try to come up with one thing that you can share that's vulnerable and how you react to that. And as you use your script, and I'll give you an example of me. So I could say like, 2 months ago, I had a bad month of business, but like last month I had my biggest month ever. Here's what I did to get out of it. Or I could say last week I had 5 sales calls and didn't close any, but here's why I'm not letting that ruin my mindset or put me down a rabbit hole, and what I'm going to do this week to close 2 clients or something like that. Or I would think of one more example as well. Maybe I could say like 2 clients dropped off this week, and here's why it's actually a good thing and what I'm going to do to sign more, something along the lines of that. Like 2 clients finished up with me, because that's something coaches struggle with. Clients finish up and then they get stressed and they get overwhelmed. So I'm going to say 2 clients finished up with me, and here's how I'm not letting myself get stressed or overwhelmed. So it's like vulnerability, thing that happened, solution. A little share what you've got so far. Julia, you want to kick us off?
I'm not sure exactly. I think it's down to working 2 jobs has made me tired and closed my mind off. And until I started integrating my practices again and mindfulness, which has helped me find a solution. I'm really going to need to think about that.
Yeah, but I love the concept. It could be like, even like last week I didn't meditate like at all and found myself lacking creativity and energy, and here's what I'm doing this week to make sure it's a priority or something like that, and how you're incorporating it into your schedule, something along the lines of that.
Perfect, thank you.
No worries. And Lisa?
I had that example as well, like about the meditation. So saying when I notice my anxiety's high, like I don't know if I like, because I've moved through that just recently, using meditation to get myself out of it, and then noticing to begin with it's really hard, and my brain's all over the place like on day 1, but if I do it consistently for 4 or 5 days, then I notice that my mind is a lot more focused, was one. And then the other one, which is really important for me, is like when I catch myself saying I don't know all the time, I don't know, connecting back with my journal, because I do have the answers, but it's normally a disconnect from my practices. So if you're like, I was going to go with the angle, if you're finding yourself saying I don't know a lot, then maybe you just need to spend 10 minutes a day with your journal to figure out what you do know.
So it could be last week I find myself saying I don't know a lot. So here's the journal prompt I use to give myself more clarity. So that's exactly how you kind of bring that vulnerability and that storytelling aspect into shared value. Instead of saying like, if you're saying I don't know a lot, here's how you get out of it. You're saying like, last week I found myself saying this, and here's what I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. Well done. That's a brilliant example of that. And Niall?
I said I had a bad week. How do I come back to my peak? But one good one I thought I came up with was last week my screen time was through the roof. How I'm going to get back on track and stay focused this week.
Yeah, banging. That's a great one. Very applicable to your ICP as well. Unreal.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
And Saskia?
For me, I put something similar to I think what Lisa said, but I was feeling a bit frustrated, feeling a bit off, and I think I was doing a lot of traveling and just sightseeing, so I didn't have a lot of time to do my actual work. So I wanted to get back on track with my routine, like my morning routine, which helps me feel a bit calmer and just better, like more focused, so I can really get the work done that I need to do. So I set a little like habit tracker to help me stay on track. But yeah, I'll word it better.
Amazing. Something like along the lines of like the last 2 weeks I was traveling and my habits were all over the place. Here's what I'm doing this week to get back on track with my goals or something like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Love that. And Mary?
I shared something similar to this yesterday on Instagram. So it was about like feeling overwhelmed and like falling into like I'd say like falling into a freeze or like just not being as productive, and like here are the regulation like techniques that I used. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Even you could do them individual instead of saying in general. It's like if I fell back into a freeze response, here's exactly how I get out of it. And then even do all the different ones and then showcase them as well as like
Yeah.
kind of more nuanced topics. Amazing. And Aoife, I'm not sure if you can speak. If you can't, you can pop it into the chat. But if you can shout.
Yes, I can.
Hi,
Thank you. Sorry, I was late.
no
I
worries.
have a couple. It was when you actually mentioned about the meditation. That one really resonated because last week I did not do my daily meditation or breathwork practice, and I felt like I was just on a hamster wheel all week. So maybe, even though I wasn't trying to like copy what came up, but that actually did resonate.
Yeah,
And
love that.
then another one was not last week, the week before. I felt like my self-talk around my body image was quite harsh while I was away with work. And then like this past week since being back in Perth, I really prioritized on like doing the things that like made me feel good. And I noticed without even like focusing on my body how much better I felt within myself. So that like ties into how like confidence is all about your energy. It's not about how you look. So maybe I could do one around that.
Love that, love that. And even so specific, you say like I was on a work trip last week and fell into judging my body or something like that. Here's exactly how I brought myself
Mhm.
back from it. And then you literally that can be your whole concept. Is like by doing other things that made me feel good that naturally kind of took my attention away from what was wrong. Love that.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Really good
Okay, I have
examples,
one last
guys.
one. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
But
Shoot.
I feel like I'm still in it, so I should probably wait till I come out of it. It was only this morning I was reflecting on it. So it's like one of the guys who I live with, I just noticed he was really triggering me. And it's just like the way he's showing up and like the things he's doing, I was just noticing it was really triggering me. But then this morning I was like, oh, like why is that really triggering me? So I feel like obviously I need to like work through this first before I like share about it. But then because a lot of times it's like when someone is doing something, it's reflect like when you're getting triggered, it's a reflection of something going on internally. It's not always about like the external thing. So I was like, okay, I need to deep dive into that. But then I'd be hesitant sharing it because he's following me. So I don't know how to go about that.
You could even just say like someone close to me, and if it helped to like change the specific thing that happened as well, so it's like again, it can't be like
Mhm,
traced back. You could just give a similar example that
mhm,
would evoke the same emotion, but it's just a different thing, and just say someone close to me. I think that's how I'd approach it to like make it not
mhm.
obvious, but still being able to share
Okay.
the knowledge you've gained from that. But love that, absolutely love that.
Okay.
They're
Amazing. Thank you so much.
really good examples, guys. Amazing. So there's lots to be working on within this as well. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by seeing all these things and thinking you have to go ham now and get all these done all week. Even just pick one thing each week. So the best one is the live session slash client interview. So if that can be your first priority, I would go with that one first. Then like work on your vulnerability. That's easy. You all just came up with ideas straight off the bat there. So that's quite an easy one. And then kind of just this is something that you consistently do as well. It's like always just thinking about what do I have that my avatar wants. So don't like see all this, get overwhelmed, and then just go like I don't even know where to start with this. I would just prioritize if there's anything from the last 3 points, just prioritize doing this or scheduling a time to do this. Just think of a person or think of something you can do and just put it in the calendar and it'll be off your mind, off your plate. Just think of what you're going to actually do for it and then put it into your calendar to get it done. And then that's that. Sort it. And then you all have your vulnerability one essentially ready now as well. So just get that done sometime in the next like week or two as well. Amazing. So then like that is kind of essentially more so your top of the funnel. It's like why people should listen to you, what you've accomplished, what you've achieved. Then middle of the funnel, can you actually help me? That's what people are asking. It's like, can you actually help me? So by being able to handle objections in your content, you're going to make people so much more inclined to just like invest and give you their money. So common objections that probably a lot of you have had before is, will this work for someone like me? What if I don't have the time to actually get the results? What is different about your method than every other coach that's out there? What does working with her or him actually look like? And how fast can I expect results? So if you can literally take those 5 things and you can make a piece of content handling that objection, then they're going to see that and their brain's going to be primed to not have that objection anymore. So a really good example is like, this is a business coach, and obviously she was getting like a lot of her clients and a lot of people coming to her saying, I don't have time to post content. So this is the reel she made to handle that objection. She said, I don't have time to post content. It's so hard. I'm overwhelmed and stressed about what to post. My mental health is being destroyed because of it. It's not fun. I hate it. It's impossible. I don't have time. Me in 6 seconds. Sorry, this is a boy. Me in 6 seconds. And he's like creating a piece of content. So he's literally taken like all of these things that people say about content that are like limiting beliefs. And he's literally just making a piece of content. It took him 6 seconds to show it's actually not that hard. So like that's an example of how you can take an objection and handle it in your content. So people are just going to laugh and be like, oh, if he's going to teach me how to do it an easy way, or teach me like an easy way to make content essentially. And another example is I need to think about it is such a common one. This is an example of how you could handle I need to think about it. I need to think about it. I always take at least a week before I make a decision is obviously probably a live objection he got on a sales call. And then he said, yeah, that's exactly why your life looks and feels shit by the time you actually do something. You've already distracted yourself. If you think if thinking solved your problems, you wouldn't be still in the same position. You think about this every day. You wake up with anxiety. Maybe it's time to stop thinking and start moving for once. So he's literally just given objection handling in his content essentially. So when they're going to feel called out. If you've ever done a sales call and you said I need to think about it or take a week before I make a decision, you're going to feel called out. And then he's kind of saying that like, and then he's like making them make sense of why they do that. And then you're probably like, oh yeah, like I actually have been in the same situation for the last 3 years. He might actually be right. Like I actually might just need to make a decision on this. So it's kind of like helping someone make a decision before they actually even get on a sales call with you in future. And the last one is I'm going to wait until X before signing up. This is another one. So I'm going to sign a couple of clients myself before I join. It's like your prospect said, I'm going to lose £5 before I join your future coaching program. So she's handling that objection. So like you guys might get like, I'm going to try it myself before I join. And then you can give like an analogy of like why they shouldn't do that. Because again, whatever it may be, you can think of some ideas for your own niches on that one too. But these are like 5 you can literally make straight off the bat because they're the 5 most common ones you get. And then as you're on sales calls and as you're like hearing people say specific things, you can literally just go and make pieces of content handling those objections in your content on your page that's going to help someone actually make a decision to invest with you. So such a good life hack is to do that. Amazing. So next thing we're going through a lot today as well, but this is like the exact process behind a reel that made me €151,000 as a mindset coach. So I'm going to talk you through all of the nuances behind this. So this was the reel. And then I'm going to dissect how I made it. So it got 1.9 thousand comments that were all leads. So if you go in here, it's literally people commenting purpose, 1,900 people commenting purpose. So it got me essentially 1,900 leads. And I know I went for more, but I don't know what to do next. The plan you need. And then I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of value. So how I made this piece of content was I researched viral formats and topics, first of all. So as I was a mindset coach, I reviewed what is a viral video. And I took this exact hook from someone else that got 1 million views. This exact hook that's here, 1 second now. You'll see, I know I meant for more, but I don't know what to do next. The plan you need. So I put my video in and I took this exact hook from a video that I'd already got 1 million views. So that was step 1. I researched, and it was the same format. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was the same hook. So I stole a viral hook and I stole a viral format, number 1. Second thing I did was I inputted my own value. So he had his own 5 bullet points. I completely changed all of them and I put in my value. All of this was purely from my brain, purely from my experience, purely from my own knowledge. So I ripped his format, I ripped his hook, and then I put in my own information into it, essentially. Then I offered a freebie. At the end, I say, comment purpose for my free guide, and then got 2,000 leads. And that literal one reel as a mindset coach made me €150,000, €51,000. So how you can do this for yourselves, I'm going to actually give an example of Niall. You finally got made it to the point of getting used as an example in the content. But what you did was similar with this video here. You found a viral template, which was, again, side by side. you rip the viral template, and then you put a freebie off the back of that as well. So like this template's working really well for you. So I want you to rinse this as much as you can. Keep going with this, keep going with this, keep going with this until it's oversaturated, because this probably got you 12 leads, 10 leads, something like that as well. But it's going to get you more and more because it's not oversaturated yet. So essentially you've done the exact same thing, but you just need to keep rinsing it now until you get one that actually pops off. Because if you get one of these that gets 1 million views and you have a freebie attached to it, you're going to get about 2,000 leads off the back of that, and then you're like set for the next like 12 months. That's all your leads that you need as well. So back to that again, what you did was you found a viral format, which you did, the side-by-side character one, that's a viral format. You inputted your own information that's related to your ideal clients, and then you generate leads by attaching a freebie to it. So it's really, really simplistic, just 3 steps. Yes, you might need to test out a few to see what works well, see what's good, see what performs, but eventually you're going to find one that's actually going to work really well. If you're using a viral format that's already worked, if you're using a viral hook that's already worked, you're inputting your own knowledge into it and you're actually giving value to your audience, and then you're attaching like a solid freebie to it. Eventually you're just going to get one that pops off as well. So this week I want you to have a little look at, again, I always get used to this, the 5x5, 5 creators that are in your niche, their 5 most viral videos. That's going to give you 25 viral templates that you can use to do this with, and again attach your freebie too as well. So that's just a little bit of insight in terms of the freebie reels that we can make in order to actually generate leads and to get conversations started with them. Next thing, for anyone that has any questions on that point, just going to stop for 2 seconds just to make sure everyone's following. Okay, amazing. So next thing for today as well is creating an onboarding form for all your new clients to fill out after paying you. So these questions are going to help you so much with not just throwing spaghetti at a wall with your content. If you can ask all of your clients, what made you choose me specifically? What finally pushed you to apply to work with me or book a sales call? What almost stopped you from joining? What were you worried wouldn't work? And who else were you considering and why? If you can ask those 5 questions to everyone who signs up, your content is just planned for you, because all you have to do is, like, whenever they say what made you choose me specifically, you just lean into creating more content around that. So say for an example, I asked all you guys what made you sign up with me, and here I have this list of everything I said here. It's client results, relatability, clarity in what I was offering, watching me for a couple of months, relatability, my story, authenticity, consistency with my content, always seeing my reels, I've done the thing you wanted to do. I have all these things that you guys said to me, and that's how I create my content. I'm like, which one of these bullet points can I make content on this week that's going to attract more people like you guys, because you're all my dream clients. So by actually gathering data, you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. You're not just guessing, oh, I think this person signed up with me because of this, but you actually have real knowledge, real data in terms of why your clients chose you to work with. So this is such a game changer when it comes to just, again, really, really doubling down on what's working, and scalability of your offer is actually doing more things that who just paid you money. Someone just gave you their money. How can I get more people to do that? Is doing the same things that made that person trust you enough to give you their money, essentially. So being able to do that is going to really help with that. And then the last thing I just want to touch on today is working smart, not hard. So want to call everyone out for anything that's not doing things every single day, that's not leading to booking more sales calls. All these things are going to really, really help with booking sales calls. But like branding, website design, I know none of you guys are probably doing that as well, but like not essential for the moment. Like you can scale, I've scaled to 15, actually, where I don't think I have a website. I've scaled to 32k a month without having a website. You don't need like lots of fancy stuff. You don't need branding. You don't need all that at the beginning. It's glorified procrastination, like spending your days and spending your weeks creating logos, creating websites, creating stuff like that. That is not moving the needle. It's honestly just glorified self-sabotage and procrastination. I really want you guys to work smart and not hard. Like no one here, it's not about sitting behind your laptop for 8 hours or 9 hours a day. You don't need to do that whatsoever. You just need to focus on the things that are actually moving the needle forward. Like if you guys can just commit to doing 3 to 4 solid hours of the stuff I give you to do, the action points, the income producing activities, that's all you need to do. It's not about working like long hours and burning yourself out whatsoever. It's just about being intentional with your time and being intentional with your inputs that are actually going to lead you to outputs. 80-20 rule states that 80% of your results come from 20% of the work. It's no different with coaching. Like having conversations, if you guys have gone a week or gone 2 or 3 days without having conversations in your DMs, what are you doing? Because that's the only way people can actually book in sales calls, is to talk to people. There's no other way that someone can book in a sales call with you other than you having a conversation with them in your DMs. So call yourself out. If you've gone 2 to 3 days without having any conversations, call yourself out on that, because there's nothing else you should be focusing on if you're not doing that one thing first. Like, that is the only way that people can actually buy from you, is you having a conversation with them and then them booking in a sales call off the back of that conversation. So if you've got 1 or 2 or 3 days in your business and you prioritize over other things over conversations, then you need to have a talk with yourself, because that is the main thing that's going to lead to people buying from you. No matter how much you grow, it's always linked back to conversations. And as I said, there's multiple ways that we can start those conversations: through direct CTAs, through indirect CTAs, through real CTAs, through that freebie thing I just went over with you guys there. These are all ways that we can start conversations. But the bottom line is, even if you get 2,000 leads, if you don't talk to any of those 2,000 people, none of them are going to, there's no way that they can buy from us. Like, there's no magic. They're not going to find a secret link to go in and buy our coaching. The only way that someone can actually buy from us is if we get on a call with them, send them the payment link, and then they pay the payment link. There's no kind of other route to it. So call yourself out. If you are sitting down at your laptop and you're prioritizing anything else over conversations, that is not working smart. It's not working smart whatsoever, because the smartest thing you can do is just find more ways to have conversations, because conversations equals sales, essentially. So that's the kind of last note I want to finish up on today. And I'm going to open the floor for a little bit of a Q&A for 5 minutes before we go into our last part. Anyone any questions on absolutely any of that information, or just anything in general in terms of the last few weeks?
I don't know if anyone else is going to unmute. You know, going back with the comment, the word to get the freebie, do you like, that's where I struggle with what to offer as a freebie. I've wrote it down with like freebie question mark. Like, is it relevant to the thing that you're posting? Oh, sorry, I'm at a house. I need to answer the door.
No
Sorry.
worries, no worries. I'll come
Sorry,
back.
sorry.
I'll come back to you in a sec. Yeah, no stress, no stress. Has anyone else any questions before Lisa comes back to us? All right, no stress. We'll wait for Lisa to return.
I'll ask a question. How often should you give a freebie? Like, I know we're saying like once a week on a Friday, but like, should everything sort of be plugged? Like, I had a video there just slagging people from BlackRock, but like, it's nearly got 10,000 views, and I have just like one line on it. Like, I have no DM me the word BlackRock for some, or so like,
Yeah.
should you put that on? Like, I would have thought that would be just a filler, 2,500 views or 2,000 views.
Yeah. If you find it starting to take off, because it's at 10 now, but it could take off to 50 or 100, you never actually know. So if you find it starting to take off and gather momentum, I just stick it in the first line of the bio. Because obviously, same as, like,
Okay.
I wouldn't have expected that one to do well, but you can just edit the caption if you find it starting to gather momentum, because most of the time, like, if it's still going, if it hasn't stopped yet, it still could have potential to reach 50 or 100, and you want to obviously optimize generating leads from that as well. So if you find it gathering momentum, then I go replace it with a freebie, or else just do your normal scripted freebies, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
Gorge. And even just before Lisa comes back as well, I'm just going to explain the concept of freebies to you guys as well. The best freebies are just splinters. They're not like really high value things that have like 20 pages or so much information. It's literally just, example, if I was making a freebie right now, I would be like, one story you can post this week to sign a client, and I just give one Instagram story to them. So it's not this like big case of huge amounts of value. It's one splinter. Someone wants to sign a client, I'm going to give them one story they can post that can potentially help them sign a client. So for you guys, think of just like one tiny splinter that you can pull out, and one tiny piece of value you can give your client, and just create a freebie around that. For example, for like Mary, it could be like one journal prompt you can use this week in order to then dream result of your client, something along the lines of that. So something really simplistic, not something complex. Amazing. I'm actually just going to answer Lisa's question, and she can watch back the recording then to see it off the back of this as well. So she was asking around what she should make as a freebie. So what I would ask her to do is, I would ask her literally just to write down like her dream client. If I was going to say like her dream client comes, gets on a sales call with her, what is the 3 things that she wants to help them with? And just make a freebie around that. So say they might get on the call, Lisa's niche is like they want more self-love, maybe more confidence, and more regulated nervous system. So her freebie could literally be like one journal prompt to love yourself 10 times more, or like 3 steps to creating your dream life. That's kind of vague. I would say like 3 steps to creating a life that you look forward to waking up to each morning, or something like that, and make it around that. simply, I would say the best way to go about it in terms of if you're to get on a sales call with your absolute dream client, what would you be dying for them to say they're struggling with that you are buzzing to help them with? Essentially, that's the question. And then make a free guide on that exact thing. That's how I would approach that. Amazing. Any more questions from anyone? Sweet. Really lots of juicy action points in this call. There's actually so much. So I really highly recommend you guys go back and watch over this call a couple of times, because there's so much you can implement in this call. Like in terms of content, there's literally the next probably, if you actually go back through everything I asked there's probably a month of content in all of the things we just went through today, if you actually take the time to script it out and take it seriously as well. And like the thing about this content is, all of this content I gave you to do today, like it's intentional. It's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. It has strategy, and every single post that you post in line with what I just gave you, it has intention to take someone from watching your content to build more trust, to build more connection, to actually buy from you. So there's very, very specific intention behind every piece of content that you will script off the back of this call today, which is amazing. Gorge, as always, we will end with a little bit of gratitude. My gratitude for today. So grateful for this call. So grateful for all of you guys for showing up for yourselves and for joining. And I'm so excited for our content call tomorrow. And then we have Kate doing a sales call on Thursday. So I'm excited for her coming in for you guys and to be able to, for her to share her value around sales as well, because she's an absolute wizard when it comes to sales.